12 Jandun, 56 AR. Just past midday. A hot wind stirred the brittle grasses west of Titan, sending dust skittering across the flatlands. The horizon shimmered with heat haze, broken only by a single parasol, cream-colored and pristine, anchored above a solitary table in the middle of an open field. Beneath it sat a figure in a tailored black coat, one leg crossed over the other, calmly lighting a cigar. From a distance the tableau was absurd. A picnic without food, a sunshade with no sunbather, and a man with no apparent reason to be here. Yet he sat unbothered, exhaling slow curls of smoke as if the world had been arranged precisely for his convenience. Two figures observed from nearly a half-mile away, prone behind the sloping ridge of a dried irrigation berm. They wore dull gray scout suits marked with no insignia. Their brass lenses clicked and adjusted with quiet mechanical precision as they took turns observing the field through a high-powered technomantic scope. "It's him," muttered the first, voice clipped and metallic from the comm mask. "Mammonkin, or a damn convincing copy." "He's alone," the second noted. "No guards, no movement. You believe he's baiting us?" "Could be, or it's theater. Message for someone, maybe not even us." They scanned again. No energy signatures, no arcane traces, nothing but dry wind. Dust and a man in a chair content to smoke under a parasol. The man lit a second cigar 20 minutes in. The first had burned to a stub, dropped into a copper ashtray beside his chair. "That's odd," said the first observer. "Isn't his enchanted? Supposed to burn forever?" The second shook their head. "Could be rumor, or he lost the real one. Either way, not a magical tell." They transmitted their findings back to Titan through a low-band relay, encoded in alum cipher. Observation complete. Subject appears to be Mammonkin or high-grade body double. Behavior passive, ostentatious. No magical presence detected. Environment stable. No secondary actors observed. Recommending continued surveillance. They waited 5 more minutes, then silently packed their gear and withdrew, leaving no trace of their presence. The glyph stitch recorder they buried at the site would continue transmitting environmental data for the next 12 hours. Far to the east, past the green-veined lowlands and the first curve of the inland road, Saladin Colles sat atop a flatbed truck, bouncing gently with the motion of the convoy. He chewed a strip of salted fish and squinted into the sun, unaware of the tension he'd triggered back in Titan. He hadn't thought much of it when he'd told Olran Nevin, ambassador of Alum, that he might want to be outside the walls on the 12th. Nor had he offered much clarity when he told Ben Hezbolil Mamonkin to make some noise on the same date. It had seemed, at the time, like a clever way to keep both men guessing. And now? Well, now he was halfway across the continent, sipping warm water from a dented flask and watching clouds form strange shapes above the convoy. He figured if something happened back in Titan, someone would tell him eventually. Probably. In a quiet, diplomatic suite, Olran Nevin read the field report twice, then laid it flat on his desk. His fingers steepled beneath his chin as he stared at nothing. A picnic, a parasol, a cigar. He could imagine Ben's smirk behind that mask of studied relaxation. Whether it was really him or not hardly mattered. It was a statement, a signal, or a distraction. He turned to the map on the wall, eyes settling on the copper pins that tracked city loyalties, trade disruptions, and royal instabilities. One pin, marked Saladin, had been moved east. Another, marked Ben Hezbolil, now hovered in ambiguous territory. "You want me watching the horizon?" Olran murmured. "So I'll keep one eye there, but only one." He tapped the map once, then turned back to his desk. There were letters to write, favors to call in, and an increasingly problematic godson to keep alive, until he wasn't useful anymore. And out in the field west of Titan, the false Ben lit a third cigar and smiled at nothing.